Transformation is often romanticized as a dramatic, life-altering event, a single moment where everything suddenly changes, where overnight success appears out of nowhere, and where our lives take a complete turn without warning. But the reality is far different. True transformation, the kind that lasts, doesn't happen in a single leap. It is built in the small, deliberate actions we take every day, often invisible to the outside world. It is in these tiny steps that change begins, in the repeated behaviors that seem insignificant at first, but over time accumulate into monumental results. Consider the way habits form. When we start something new, the initial action may feel trivial. A 5-minute walk, writing a single paragraph, reading a few pages of a book, or choosing water over soda, all these decisions seem almost meaningless in isolation. But each one is a building block. Each choice signals to your brain that you are capable of following through, that you are committed to a new path. Small actions create small wins, and small wins create momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that propels us forward when motivation wavers, when life challenges us, and when consistency feels difficult. The power of small actions lies in their compounding effect. Just as saving a few dollars every day grows into significant wealth over years, small positive steps in our habits and mindset accumulate into profound personal growth. Transformation is rarely about a single dramatic effort. It is the result of patience, repetition, and focus. Each day offers an opportunity to reinforce these small actions, to take one more step toward the person we want to become. When we undervalue these actions, we overlook the profound impact of consistency. Transformation is not a single event. It is a process, a collection of micro decisions that over time shape our reality. One of the most important aspects of small actions is that they create a sense of agency. When we realize that transformation doesn't require monumental leaps, we are empowered to take control of our own lives. We begin to see that progress is within our reach, that we don't need permission or extraordinary circumstances to change. By focusing on small, deliberate steps, we remove the pressure to be perfect, to achieve instantly, or to wait for the right moment. Each action becomes meaningful, not because it is dramatic, because it moves us forward. Another critical element is the psychological reinforcement these actions provide. Completing a small task consistently trains the mind to expect results, to trust in the process, and to value discipline over fleeting bursts of inspiration. When actions are repeated, they form patterns, and patterns create identity. By committing to small, consistent actions, we begin to see ourselves differently. We are no longer someone who fails to follow through. We are someone who builds momentum, who achieves through steady effort, who understands that change is earned gradually, step by step. Small actions also reduce the fear of failure. Massive goals can feel intimidating and paralyze us with doubt. But when we focus on a single small action, an action so minor that it feels almost impossible to fail at, we remove the weight of expectation. We start to engage with the process rather than obsess over the outcome. And when these small actions are repeated day after day, week after week, month after month, the results emerge almost inevitably, proving that transformation was never sudden. It was always a series of consistent, deliberate choices, each one invisible at first, but together powerful enough to redefine the trajectory of our lives. Consistency in small actions teaches patience, resilience, and humility. It reminds us that life is not about instant gratification or dramatic breakthroughs, but about the cumulative effect of ordinary efforts done intentionally. Each seemingly insignificant choice contributes to the architecture of transformation. Over time, these small actions accumulate, compounding into extraordinary results that redefine who we are, what we are capable of, and how we live our lives. Motivation is often celebrated as the key to success, but it is a fragile, unpredictable force. It comes in waves, sometimes flooding our mind with energy and clarity, and other times disappearing entirely, leaving us feeling empty, unprepared, and incapable of action. Relying solely on motivation is like trying to sail a boat using only the wind. When the wind dies down, you stop moving. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady engine that keeps you moving forward even when motivation has vanished. It is not glamorous. It does not inspire dramatic bursts of energy, but it ensures progress, growth, and achievement day after day, even in the absence of excitement or inspiration. Discipline is the foundation upon which habits are built. Habits are not born from fleeting feelings of motivation. They are forged through repeated, intentional actions performed consistently regardless of how we feel in the moment. The person who wakes up at 5 a.m. every day to exercise, write, or study does not do so because they are always motivated. They do it because they have created a system, a structured routine that makes action automatic. Motivation may spark the initial desire, but it is discipline that sustains it over time. When motivation fades, the disciplined individual continues to move forward because their actions are no longer dependent on their emotional state. They have built a framework that carries them through. The strength of discipline lies in its reliability. Motivation is conditional. It depends on our mood, our environment, or our circumstances. Discipline is unconditional. It does not care if we feel like doing something or not. It does not require inspiration or external validation. It thrives on consistency, repetition, and commitment. By prioritizing discipline over motivation, we remove the uncertainty of relying on feelings and replace it with a predictable structure that guarantees progress. Each day that we follow our disciplined routines, we reinforce our ability to act, to persist, and to achieve results that would be impossible if we waited for motivation to appear. Discipline also cultivates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. There will be days when nothing seems to go right, when obstacles feel insurmountable, and when our energy is drained. In those moments, motivation alone is not enough to carry us forward. Discipline is what allows us to maintain focus, to adhere to our commitments, and to keep moving toward our goals even when circumstances are difficult. It teaches us to trust the process, to value effort over emotion, and to recognize that consistent action, no matter how small, compounds into meaningful progress over time. Another critical aspect of discipline is the way it shapes identity. When we act consistently, we start to see ourselves as disciplined individuals. Our choices reinforce our self-perception, and over time, this identity becomes self-sustaining. A disciplined person acts not because they are motivated in the moment, but because being disciplined is who they are. This internalization creates a powerful feedback loop. Discipline strengthens identity, and identity strengthens discipline, making success less dependent on external factors and more rooted in personal integrity and consistency. Discipline also allows us to bypass the trap of procrastination. Motivation can be fleeting and unreliable, often leading to delays or excuses when we wait for the right feeling to act. Discipline removes the need to wait. It establishes routines, rituals, and systems that ensure action occurs regardless of mood or circumstance. By focusing on discipline rather than motivation, we create an environment where progress becomes inevitable. Every day we show up, every time we follow through, we reinforce the habit of action, build momentum, and move closer to our goals, proving that discipline is not merely a fallback when motivation fades. It is the engine that drives consistent long-term success. Ultimately, discipline outshines motivation because it is enduring, reliable, and transformative. While motivation may ignite the spark, discipline maintains the flame, providing structure, resilience, and momentum even in the face of adversity. It is discipline that allows ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary results, because it ensures that progress continues when inspiration is absent, when energy is low, and when the journey feels difficult. Discipline transforms potential into achievement, desire into reality, and fleeting inspiration into lasting impact, demonstrating that success is not the product of momentary enthusiasm, but the result of consistent, deliberate action over time. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and transformation, yet it is often overlooked in favor of quick fixes, external advice, or surface-level strategies. Without understanding ourselves deeply, our strengths, weaknesses, triggers, and patterns, any attempt at lasting change is like navigating a vast ocean without a compass. We may move, we may try different directions, but without a clear understanding of who we are and how we function, we are prone to drift, frustration, and repeated failure. Self-awareness serves as the compass that guides our decisions, our actions, and the habits we choose to adopt, ensuring that the changes we pursue are aligned with our true selves and therefore more likely to endure. At its core, self-awareness begins with observation. It requires us to pause, step back, and honestly examine our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This means noticing patterns that may have gone unnoticed for years, the moments when we react impulsively, the situations that trigger stress or distraction, the times when we feel energized and focused, and the activities that leave us drained or unmotivated. By identifying these patterns, we gain insight into what drives us, what holds us back, and what conditions support our success. Without this knowledge, even the best intentioned habits can fail because they may conflict with our natural tendencies or fail to address the underlying issues that sabotage progress. Self-awareness also allows us to leverage our strengths while acknowledging our limitations. For example, if we recognize that we thrive in structured, disciplined environments, we can design habits that build on that preference rather than fighting against it. Conversely, if we know that we struggle with procrastination or distraction at certain times of day, we can implement strategies to mitigate these weaknesses, such as scheduling demanding tasks when energy is high or creating accountability systems. Understanding ourselves at this level creates the foundation for habits that are not only sustainable but also efficient, effective, and tailored to our unique needs. Triggers, both positive and negative, are another crucial aspect of self-awareness. By identifying the stimuli, environments, or emotional states that prompt certain behaviors, we gain control over the factors that influence our choices. For instance, knowing that social media scrolling is a trigger for distraction allows us to modify our environment or set boundaries to reduce temptation. Similarly, recognizing that certain tasks energize or inspire us enables us to structure our day around these activities. Awareness of triggers transforms us from passive participants in our habits into active architects of our behaviors, giving us the power to design routines that align with our goals instead of sabotaging them. Self-awareness is also essential for emotional intelligence, which plays a significant role in sustaining long-term habits. Change is not purely about action, it is about managing internal resistance, self-doubt, and emotional fluctuations. By being attuned to our emotional responses, we can intervene early when negativity or self-criticism threatens to derail progress. We learn to respond rather than react, to make deliberate choices instead of being swept away by impulses or fleeting moods. This level of insight strengthens resilience and allows us to maintain consistency even under pressure. Furthermore, self-awareness encourages reflection and continuous adjustment. Habits are rarely perfect from the start. They require experimentation, feedback, and fine-tuning. By regularly evaluating what is working and what is not, we can make informed adjustments rather than abandoning habits prematurely. This reflective process turns trial and error into a deliberate path of growth, where each insight informs the next step, creating a cycle of continuous improvement. Ultimately, self-awareness is the compass that ensures our efforts are purposeful and aligned. It enables us to understand ourselves deeply, recognize patterns, leverage strengths, manage weaknesses, anticipate triggers, and respond intelligently to challenges. Habits designed with self-awareness in mind are not imposed externally or borrowed from others. They are built on the foundation of our unique identity, making them more natural, more effective, and more likely to last over time. Through self-awareness, we gain clarity, direction, and control over our lives, turning abstract intentions into concrete, meaningful actions that propel us toward lasting transformation. Environment is one of the most underestimated forces influencing human behavior. We often think that willpower, discipline, or motivation alone determine our actions, but the truth is that our surroundings, the physical spaces we inhabit, the people we interact with, and the culture we participate in, play a profound role in shaping our choices and the habits we develop. Environment acts as both a catalyst and a constraint. It can either make positive habits effortless and sustainable or create obstacles that make even simple actions difficult to maintain. Understanding the power of environment is essential for anyone seeking lasting change or personal growth, because it reveals that success is rarely just about individual effort. It is also about aligning your context with your intentions. Physical environment directly influences behavior in ways that are often subtle but impactful. The organization of our living and working spaces, the accessibility of tools or resources, and even the visual cues around us can either promote focus or foster distraction. For example, a cluttered workspace can drain energy and reduce productivity, while a clean, well-organized environment can enhance concentration and efficiency. Similarly, if healthy food is easily accessible and unhealthy snacks are out of reach, making nutritious choices becomes almost automatic. Conversely, placing distractions such as phones, social media, or television within easy reach can weaken discipline and interfere with habit formation. The environment sets the stage for action, and small adjustments can make desired behaviors easier to adopt while minimizing reliance on sheer willpower. Equally powerful is the social environment. The people we spend time with, the communities we belong to, and the norms we internalize all shape our habits and behaviors. Humans are inherently social beings. We absorb attitudes, behaviors, and expectations from those around us. If we surround ourselves with individuals who value growth, consistency, and accountability, we are more likely to adopt similar habits. Positive peer influence can encourage commitment, provide motivation, and offer support during challenging times. Conversely, spending time with people who are negative, undisciplined, or resistant to change can undermine our efforts, normalize counterproductive behaviors, and erode our focus. Social influence is powerful because it operates both consciously and subconsciously, guiding choices without requiring deliberate effort. Culture and societal norms are extensions of environment that also shape behavior. The expectations, values, and priorities of the groups we belong to influence what we consider acceptable or achievable. Working in a culture that celebrates hard work, learning, and innovation fosters habits of continuous improvement, whereas environments that reward mediocrity or discourage risk-taking can stifle ambition and growth. Even subtle cues such as language, rituals, and shared stories reinforce patterns of behavior that can either align with or conflict against personal goals. Recognizing the role of culture and context allows us to identify environments that support success and seek out spaces where our desired habits are reinforced rather than undermined. Environment also shapes behavior by influencing our emotional and mental state. Natural light, noise levels, temperature, and aesthetic appeal all affect mood, energy, and focus, which in turn impact our ability to perform tasks consistently. A supportive environment reduces friction and stress, creating conditions where habits can take root more easily. When the environment aligns with the habits we want to cultivate, the effort required to maintain those habits decreases, making consistency far more achievable. Creating an environment that strengthens positive habits is both a strategic and intentional process. It requires awareness of how surroundings influence behavior, thoughtful design of physical and social spaces, and deliberate selection of communities and relationships that encourage growth. Small but deliberate changes such as decluttering a workspace, limiting exposure to negative influences, or surrounding oneself with motivated and supportive peers can dramatically increase the likelihood of habit formation and long-term success. Ultimately, the environment acts as an invisible partner in shaping our behavior. It either supports the actions we wish to take or creates resistance that undermines our efforts. By consciously designing our surroundings and curating the people, cues, and cultural influences we engage with, we can create conditions that naturally reinforce positive habits, reduce reliance on willpower, and accelerate personal growth. demonstrating that behavior is not only a reflection of internal intention, but also a product of the environment in which it exists. Consistency is the backbone of meaningful achievement. Yet it is one of the most overlooked and undervalued elements of success. Many people chase breakthroughs, waiting for sudden inspiration, dramatic moments, or life-changing events to propel them forward. They expect transformation to happen overnight, fueled by short bursts of effort or fleeting motivation. But real results are not born from isolated incidents or sporadic attempts. They are earned through repetition, through showing up day after day, even when progress seems invisible. And even when enthusiasm wanes, consistency is not optional. It is the non-negotiable ingredient that turns intention into accomplishment, effort into skill, and dreams into reality. The principle of repetition lies at the heart of consistency. Each action, no matter how small, contributes to cumulative progress. A single workout, a single page written, a single task completed may feel inconsequential, but repeated consistently over time, these small actions compound into extraordinary results. Just as a river carves canyons not through sudden surges, but through steady, relentless flow, consistent effort shapes skills, habits, and outcomes gradually but powerfully. Mastery and transformation are rarely the products of one inspired day. They are the consequence of repeated practice applied with intention over weeks, months, and years. Consistency also builds trust, both in oneself and in the process. When we commit to regular action, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of follow-through, that we can rely on our own discipline rather than fleeting motivation. This self-trust is critical because it reinforces confidence, resilience, and the willingness to face challenges without giving up. On the other hand, inconsistency erodes trust, fosters self-doubt, and undermines the very habits and systems we seek to create. By showing up consistently, even in small ways, we reinforce the belief that progress is achievable and that we have the power to shape our own growth. Another critical aspect of consistency is the way it neutralizes obstacles and setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be days when circumstances are challenging, energy is low, or results are delayed. Bursts of effort cannot overcome these inevitable interruptions, but consistent practice ensures that progress continues despite adversity. Consistency is a form of resilience. It allows momentum to accumulate even when external factors fluctuate. Each repeated action, no matter how minor, reinforces the trajectory of growth and ensures that temporary setbacks do not derail long-term objectives. Consistency also strengthens discipline. When actions are repeated regularly, they become ingrained into routines, reducing reliance on willpower or motivation. Habits formed through consistent effort operate automatically, freeing mental energy for other challenges and making it easier to sustain long-term growth. In this way, consistency not only produces immediate results, but also creates an infrastructure for continued success, allowing individuals to tackle larger goals with greater efficiency and confidence. The non-negotiable nature of consistency lies in its relationship with time. Results cannot be rushed or forced through occasional bursts of effort. They require patience and sustained commitment. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, grow, and bear fruit, skills, habits, and achievements develop only through persistent, deliberate repetition. Each day of consistent effort is an investment in the future, a small but critical step that moves the needle toward meaningful outcomes. Those who understand this principle recognize that transformation is a marathon, not a sprint, and that the accumulation of small, steady actions ultimately determines success. Consistency also creates a feedback loop that accelerates growth. Repetition allows for reflection, adjustment, and refinement, making each subsequent effort more effective than the last. The more consistently we act, the more data we gather, the more insight we gain, and the more efficient our process becomes. Over time, the compounding effect of consistent action transforms potential into performance, intentions into results, and effort into mastery. Ultimately, consistency is the bridge between goals and achievement. It transforms abstract ideas into tangible outcomes and ensures that progress is sustainable, measurable, and real. While motivation may spark the initial effort and inspiration may provide occasional boosts, it is consistency that carries us forward through doubt, obstacles, and setbacks, demonstrating that results are not earned in bursts or sudden revelations, but through deliberate, repeated action maintained over time. Reflection is one of the most powerful yet often neglected tools for personal and professional growth. Many people move through life reacting to events, completing tasks, and pursuing goals without pausing to examine their actions or consider the lessons embedded in their experiences. Without reflection, progress can be haphazard, growth slow, and setbacks repeated unnecessarily. Regularly assessing our actions, evaluating progress, and analyzing challenges provides clarity, insight, and direction. It allows us to understand what works, what doesn't, and why, creating a feedback loop that accelerates improvement and prevents stagnation. At its core, reflection is about conscious awareness. It requires stepping back from the immediacy of daily activity to observe patterns, results, and behaviors objectively. This process helps us recognize the decisions, habits, and strategies that are producing the desired outcomes and those that are hindering progress. By identifying what drives success and what causes setbacks, reflection transforms experience into knowledge. Without it, even consistent effort can become misdirected, and repeated actions may yield limited results. Reflection ensures that our energy is invested in what truly matters and that our actions are aligned with our goals and values. One of the most important aspects of reflection is its ability to reveal blind spots. It is easy to assume that progress is linear, that we understand ourselves and our strategies fully. However, without deliberate examination, we can overlook weaknesses, inefficiencies, or counterproductive patterns. Reflection illuminates these blind spots, allowing us to make informed adjustments and refine our approach. By acknowledging mistakes or shortcomings without judgment, we gain insight that strengthens resilience and fosters continuous improvement. This process turns setbacks into opportunities for learning, turning failures into stepping stones rather than obstacles. Reflection also reinforces accountability. When we take the time to review our actions and outcomes, we hold ourselves responsible for both successes and failures. This internal accountability strengthens discipline and encourages intentional behavior. Rather than drifting passively or attributing results solely to external circumstances, reflection empowers us to own our choices and their consequence. It cultivates a mindset that prioritizes learning and growth over blame or excuse, fostering self-reliance and personal responsibility. Another critical benefit of reflection is the clarity it provides for decision-making. By regularly examining past actions and their results, we develop a deeper understanding of cause and effect. We begin to recognize which strategies produce consistent outcomes and which require adjustment. This clarity reduces trial and error inefficiencies and allows us to make smarter, more deliberate choices moving forward. Reflection equips us with the insight needed to optimize our efforts, ensuring that each subsequent action is more informed and effective than the last. Reflection is also essential for maintaining momentum and preventing stagnation. Growth is not a linear process. Without periodic assessment, it is easy to plateau, repeat the same behaviors, or lose sight of long-term goals. Regular reflection acts as a course correction mechanism, helping us recalibrate, set new objectives, and refine our methods. It provides perspective, allowing us to celebrate progress, acknowledge achievements, and identify areas that require further attention. This balance of evaluation and planning keeps growth dynamic, intentional, and sustainable. Moreover, reflection nurtures self-awareness and emotional intelligence. By analyzing our responses, motivations, and interactions, we gain insight into our own behavior and the impact it has on others. This understanding enhances relationships, collaboration, and leadership abilities. Self-awareness derived from reflection allows us to recognize emotional triggers, manage reactions, and develop habits that align with both personal and professional goals. Over time, this fosters maturity, adaptability, and a mindset oriented toward continuous learning. Ultimately, reflection is the engine that transforms experience into growth. It enables us to learn from the past, adjust in the present, and plan effectively for the future. By integrating regular assessment of actions, progress, and setbacks into our routines, we accelerate improvement, prevent stagnation, and create a feedback loop that continuously elevates performance. Reflection ensures that effort is purposeful, that decisions are informed, and that every experience, whether success or failure, contributes meaningfully to personal and professional development.